Good morning, everybody, and today I'm excited to continue the freezer meal workshop with the freezer meal Crockpot Italian pork roast. So this is a recipe that I have made several times for my family, and I will tell you it is a family favorite. The flavors are robust, very filling, and just perfect for the end of a long day, maybe a Wednesday or a Thursday night when the week is kind of, been a little bit intense and you just need some good old-fashioned comfort food to feel better. So first thing we're going to do, of course, I've got all the ingredients here. The first thing we need to do is get our bag ready. So just like the recipe states, you need to label your bags. Make sure you have the name, that you need to thaw this overnight, and the cooking instructions for this recipe. It's on low in a slow cooker for 6 hours, as well as use by date. I haven't added that yet. I will add that. You have to use it within 3 months of it going into the freezer. So that is how long these last. But they last just fine for up to 3 months. I have used them actually a little over 3 months and had no issues as well. So once you get that labeled, I'm going to add it to the baggie holder, and I will share with those that have not seen this yet in other videos. This is a really cool gadget that I found on Amazon. It's called a baggie opener, and it's not expensive. I'm not affiliated with this product. I just really, really like it. What it does is it holds open your bags while you work with them. So I have used it for my kids' lunches. I'll leave that right there. I've used it for my kids' lunches, and I use it every single time that I freezer cook. So get that in there. And the cool thing is it's adjustable, so no matter what size your baggies are, it can hold them. So what you do for a slow cooker meal, just like the rest of the ones that we've made, is just add your ingredients one at a time. The first thing you need to do is add your 2-pound boneless pork roast. That's what I've got going on right here. I like to add a couple of slits in it just to let the flavor start soaking up while it is in the freezer. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The longer that some of these larger cuts of meat sit in the freezer, the more flavorful it is. So I've got that sliced up. I'm now going to get this into the bag. I do use my hands, but I keep hand wash and sanitizer nearby, so have no fear. I'm taking care of the sanitizing part of things. Let me take this out for a second and turn it sideways. I just want the roast laying in there so I can add my other ingredients. Okay. So let me use a hand wipe real quick and get some of this junk off my hands before I touch the rest of my ingredients. Okay, so now we're gonna add a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Yes, I use diced tomatoes. I think they are such a help as it pertains to cooking in general. I don't care if you're meal prepping, freezer cooking, I don't care what you're doing, it's helpful. But I put a note in the recipes that you can use 6 medium-sized tomatoes, because in this workshop, you're going to learn how to freeze tomatoes. So sometimes if you just don't want to use a canned product, or perhaps you're a gardener and you have a stock of fresh juicy tomatoes from the summer that you have properly prepared for the freezer, grab the equivalent of 6 of those tomatoes that have been chopped up, and you're good to go. So I'm hoping to start playing a little bit more with starting my own garden this upcoming season, but for now I'm sticking to the Hunt's diced and no salt added tomatoes. Okay, I'm gonna go in here. There's a little bit of the label that got in there. Okay, so 28 ounces of diced tomatoes undrained. And then we need to add ½ a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Gosh, this recipe smells good, and I haven't even gotten started yet. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now this is going to be something that I eyeball. Of course, if you're not comfortable doing this, grab a spoon. But for me, it's just so much faster. And 4 cloves of garlic. I have read in the past that ½ a teaspoon of this product here is equivalent to a clove. Don't know if that person's accurate. I can tell you that is what I have used. So I just grab a normal cereal spoon and I put about that much on it. And then I'll put in 4 of those for my cloves of garlic. I have kind of estimated it that way for super long, and my recipes have turned out delicious, so I'm sticking to it. Okay, now here's a shortcut. You will see this recipe calls for parsley, basil, oregano. I actually don't, I do have all of those spices individually, but instead of adding them one at a time, I actually have this from Costco. It's Italian seasoning, and wouldn't you know, it consists of parsley, basil, and oregano, and a couple other Italian seasonings. And since this is an Italian pork roast, I don't have a problem using this instead. So I am gonna need to use quite a bit of it because it should be 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons of all of them. So I'm just gonna shake a good amount in there because, I mean, can you really have too much flavor? And then, of course, black pepper. Once again, I get this grinder at Costco. And do you see how easy this bag is to work with? It's holding it up. I've got 2 hands to use. It really is a lifesaver. You don't need it. It's totally not required, but it does help. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I use the pink coarse Himalayan salt from, it's probably easier to show you that, from Costco. Whatever salt you got. That's it. Okay, those are our ingredients. I'm gonna take this off the baggie holder. And these do go down for storage, by the way, so you can store it flat. And then we're going to zip it up almost all the way. Get the air out as much as you can right now before we cover this roast in this deliciousness. Okay, so now I just kind of turn it around and make sure that the flavors are evenly distributed throughout the bag prior to putting it in the freezer. I want this pork roast to have as much flavor going into the crock pot as it possibly can. I mean, when you freeze these slow cooker meals, you're really marinating the heck out of those cuts of meat. So I know that we have all had, nobody is immune from a bad crock pot meal that either tasted like canned products or the meat was just like, dare I say, bland, dog food quality. I don't know. But this, I can tell you, since I've done this, I haven't experienced that. And I really think it's from the fresh flavors of the healthier cooking versus depending on a lot of fully preserved products. I think the freshness of the tomatoes, even though mine are canned, they're still super fresh. And especially if you use freezer tomatoes that you grew yourself or picked up at the farmer's market, I just think the flavors are so much more fresh and robust. And then when you have this pork roast marinating for 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, just imagine how delicious your house is gonna smell when you walk in the door after work or running around with kids all day or just, you know, chores, and you have this ready to go. It's amazing, y'all. So, okay, I feel like I've got it coated pretty good. Now I'm gonna open it back up, and I like to just squeeze out all the air again. Be careful not to lose any of the juice. So I will zip it halfway, squeeze out again, zip it more, squeeze out again. And in my opinion, the bag is kind of squished together. It's got all the air out that I can get out. Sometimes I'll lay it flat, and I do notice there's more air than I realize. I'm gonna open it up, press it out. It's impossible to get all the air out using Ziploc baggies. I do have a freezer meal storage system, like a vacuum sealer. I just find that I don't need it with the meals I use. So that's it, y'all. So this is gonna go in the freezer, stacked flat on, you know, all of mine are gonna be stacked on top of each other. And when I'm ready for this Italian pork roast, I'll pull it out, thaw it overnight, throw it in my crock pot, and we're done. Seriously, guys, I hope you try this one, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.